when you book your first attempt, when you give your first attempt, you'll definitely be clearing the exam. Still, there is a chance that you may not. Why? Can you clear the TEF Canada exam in your first attempt? You have a pressure that, okay, work permit is expiring soon. It's only been 6 months left or 8 months left on my work permit. I just want to give my first attempt. How can you clear your TEF Canada exam in first attempt? So finally, this is the time where you've been waiting for so long to, give your first attempt, or at least start thinking about your first attempt or TEF or TCF Canada French exam. Now over here, let's try to solve this question now, that can you clear the TEF Canada exam in your first attempt? Well, there are two scenarios. Obviously, there are two binary responses, yes or no. Okay, and there is a spectrum in between, but just to keep things simple, I'll explain it very simply, that can you clear the TEF Canada exam in first attempt? Yes, but given in a specific scenario. Okay, and let's talk about the first scenario. How can you clear your TEF Canada exam in first attempt? See, if you're a person who have been studying for 2 to 3 hours on a regular basis, and you have spent around 1 year in learning the language, and if you have built a proper base, and not only you've built a proper base, but you have done exam specific preparation for 2-3 months, and now you are very comfortable that, okay, when it comes to speaking, I'm able to formulate all my arguments, I'm able to do section A as well properly, section B as well. Listening, I'm scoring 29 or 30 plus in all my mock exams that I'm doing. In reading as well, I'm scoring 29 to 30 or 30 plus out of 40 when I'm giving all my attempts. And in writing, my instructor told me that, this is a good level, it's pretty good, it's close to B2 or higher than B2. Then obviously you are getting enough evidence that when you book your first attempt, when you give your first attempt, you'll definitely be clearing the exam. Alright, so this is the point where you can give your first attempt and clear the exam. Okay, but the thing is, obviously this works. Why? Because we have already practiced enough, we have already shown enough evidence to ourselves that, okay, I've given this mock test today at home, I scored like 30 out of 40. Tomorrow I've given mock test, I've scored 31 out of 40, then again 30 out of 40, 32 out of 40. Consistently you've been getting that score. And for sure, if you go and give your first attempt, your mind will be so much comfortable, you will be so much comfortable that you will be clearing it. Okay. Still, there is a chance that you may not. Why? Because in the exam, when you actually go and give the exam, there is an anxiety, there is that pressure of actually, trying to clear it, to clear the exam. And even if you lose a little bit of focus while listening, because there are high stakes involved, and whatever the reason may be, you may still not clear it in the first attempt. But the overall thing is, if you have done this much of practice, then yes, there is very high likely that you will clear it in your first attempt. Okay, but now, let's understand the perspective of those people who always say that, okay, I just want to give my first attempt and clear it in my first attempt. Firstly, why do you have this perspective? Because see, it's completely okay. It's completely okay not to clear your TEF TCF Canada exam in first attempt and give 1 or 2 more. Okay, it's fine. No pressure. And this is where I believe that everyone should be in terms of their mental state. And this is the second scenario that I want to talk about, that it is not possible to clear your TEF Canada exam in first attempt, but in second or third, it is definitely possible if you are following the proper strategy that I'm going to give you today. Alright, so again, the scenario remains the same. If you've been studying regularly for 2 to 3 hours, now over here, the thing is that you have a pressure that, okay, work permit is expiring soon. It's only been 6 months left or 8 months left on my work permit. I just want to give my first attempt just so that I can see where I stand in terms of the language, and then later I'll see, okay, if we need to give attempts, it's okay. Like first I want to just get a proper exam experience in the real life, not mock tests, in the real life. Okay, in that case, it's always better to book your first attempt within 9 to 10 months of your journey. Okay, if you've been learning French regularly, consistently for 9 to 10 months, at 9th month, you should think about booking your first attempt in the 10th month. Okay, so this would be the perfect time where you should be giving your first attempt. And the goal over here again is not to just clear it in one go, because see, you already yourself will know, you'll be like, okay, I know that I won't be clearing this in the first attempt, but I will be sure that I can at least get NCLC 5 or CLB 5. Okay, even though I won't be getting CLB 7, I'm not sure. Like in couple of them I may, in couple of aspects I may not. Okay, but at least I can get CLB 5 in all 4 modules. So if you would like to know how many CRS points you can get by scoring CLB 5 or CLB 7, make sure to stay up until the end of this video, because at the end I will also be sharing that video with you where you can understand this in detail. This is something which you can be sure of. Okay, so that should be your mentality, and according to whatever score you get, you're supposed to observe that score and focus focus on your weak points and strong points accordingly. I'll give you my personal example. I gave my first attempt after 9.5 to 10 months after I started learning French. I gave my first attempt and I scored pretty well in writing. Yes, I scored the highest, and in speaking and listening as well I was okay, but my reading was the weakest aspect. Okay, and then after my first attempt I focused a lot more on reading and I improved that, and then I kept on focusing also on my other aspects as well. And now, because I gave my first attempt, I knew that what were my mistakes, where I was lacking behind, and I was able to morph my learning accordingly, which is the same thing you should be doing as well. So if you have a pressure of work permit expiry, or if you have a time crunch, obviously give your first attempt within 9 to 10 months, and then whatever score you get, you morph your learning accordingly and give your second attempt no less than 2 months later. Okay, 2 months will give you a proper time to focus on your weak aspects, and believe me, it's a proper and a comfortable approach. If let's say if your work permit is expiring in about 2 to 3 months, then sure, you have to just roll out the attempts as much as you can. In that case, you just book an attempt every month, because TEF won't allow you to book it less than a month. After every 30 days, then you're supposed to give the attempts as many as possible until you clear it. But if your work permit is not expiring very soon, then you can be a little bit liberating in this case, and you can give 60 days for yourself to prepare again, so that next time you are more than sure, or you are at least 80% sure that you will be clearing it in the second attempt. Okay, that should be your mentality. But let's say things go bad, you had a bad day and you were not able to clear it in the second one, then sure, third attempt, it's not an issue. And honestly speaking, 2 to 3 attempts are average when it comes to clearing TEF or TCF, so you can change your method accordingly. So just a quick update, Frenchify with Vyom new website is live, and you will be able to go onto that website to book a meeting with my team, so that you can get a proper consultation in terms of your profile and how to start learning French. And also you'll be able to browse through different programs. If you're a beginner, you'll start from A1 intensive program and move step by step. So if you need proper help learning French and use all the experience and tips and techniques that I will share personally, make sure to go onto the website and browse through everything and book a meeting to get started.